Hi guys, it's Jen with creativelyhomemade.com. All week I have been sharing with you some fun Thanksgiving craft ideas. I shared a lot of little turkey favors on things that would be good for kids, but I hadn't really done anything for adults, and I know that there are a lot of people that would like to give out little Thanksgiving favors for adults. So today I wanted to make a more grown-up craft for you. So I made these cute little wood crate favors. They are filled with Ghirardelli chocolates, but you could put anything you wanted in them. Other candy, you could put little tea bags, you could put a bag of mixed nuts or party mints or whatever you want. And these little crates measure 3¼ inches wide by 1½ inches deep, and they are 1¾ inches tall. So they're pretty tiny, but they hold, you know, a little bit of candy or just something as a little treat. And they have these cute little gourds, and they say, "I'm thankful for you." So I was really pleased with how this turned out. So I thought I would show you how to make them today. So let's get started. So I want to start with the stamping. I am using two different stamp sets today. I am using the Pick a Pumpkin stamp set, and I'm using this tall pumpkin, and I'm using the little gourd. And then I'm going to use the sentiment from the Painted Harvest stamp set, and it says, "I am thankful for you." I really like the pretty script font. So those are the two stamp sets you need, and I already have those on blocks. Now you don't need very much paper for this. You just need scraps of pumpkin pie cardstock, crushed curry cardstock, and crumb cake cardstock. And then you're going to need black pumpkin pie and crushed curry ink. So I'm going to start with that sentiment, and you want to stamp that on the crumb cake using black ink. And all these stamped images are going to be cut out with dies, so you don't have to worry about placement or anything. Okay, so set that one aside. Now your tall pumpkin, you want to stamp using pumpkin pie ink on pumpkin pie cardstock. And I really like the tone-on-tone look that gives. So just stamp that. And then the last one you need to stamp is the gourd, and you're going to stamp that using crushed curry ink on crushed curry cardstock. Just like so. And I'm going to go pull out my die cut machine, and we're going to cut out all our stamped images. Okay, I have my die cut machine out, and I have my stamped images down on the cutting plate. I'm going to be using the Pattern Pumpkins die set. I'm using this little tall pumpkin and the gourd that coordinates with the stamp set. Now if you buy the Pick a Pumpkin stamp set and the Pattern Pumpkin die set as a bundle, you save 10%. These are in the current holiday catalog. So I'm just going to put those dies down on the stamped images and then run that through. Just pop them out and set them aside for a second. And then I want to cut out the sentiment, and for that one I am using the Stitched Shapes die set that has ovals, circles, and squares, and it's a lot of fun to use in your paper crafting projects. So I am using the oval that is 2¼ inches in size, and it's the perfect size to cut out this sentiment. And it will leave a nice little bit of stitching around the edge, which is a nice accent. Just helps to draw attention to your sentiment on your finished project. If you can see the stitching around the edge. So set that aside, and then we have one last little bit of die cutting to do. We're going to cut out the crates. So this is the wood crate die set, and you just need the wood crate piece. And I am going to cut this out of Wood Textures Textures Designer Series paper. This paper pack is really, really cool. It's got all these different colors of wood textures, and it is so great for a project like this, and it's great for using with this wood crate die. So these come in 6 by 6 inch pieces. I just cut it down to 4.5 inches to make it fit on the plate a little bit better, and so I don't waste it. So you need to cut out this crate piece twice. Don't mind my squeaky die cut machine. So I'm just going to clear away the little scraps and run that through again to get my second piece. And you want the grain of the wood going along this way so that it looks realistic on your finished crate. So let me just pull that off. And this is what the finished crate die cut looks like. So I'm just going to set aside my die cut machine, and I'll be right back and we can finish assembling our little favors. Okay, so I've gathered up the rest of the supplies I need to assemble these little crates. I am just filling mine with Ghirardelli chocolates. You can fit about 4 chocolates into the crate. So I'm adding those to a cellophane bag, and they fit very nicely down in the crate lengthwise. So I'm just going to add those to the bag and set those aside. Now you're also going to need some copper trim. This is 1/4 inch copper trim, and it's in the catalog. And then you're going to need some adhesive and some scissors in addition to your die cut pieces. So let's get started assembling these crates. You're going to want to fold along all the score lines, and that will just make it easier to assemble later on as you're putting it together. It can be kind of hard to see some of these score lines against the wood grain paper. So if that's the case, you can turn it over and see if that makes it any easier, or hold it up to some really good light. But there are 2 flaps on either end that you're going to want to fold in, and then you're going to want to fold the bottom. There's a crease line in between the bottom and the side of the crate, and then there's a crease line between the long ends of the crate and the end with the handle, so you'll want to fold that as well. Now you want to start by putting adhesive on the end flap here. And you can use a glue gun. You want a strong adhesive. Fast fuse is too thick. The ribbon of fast fuse that comes out is too thick for this flap, so I'm just using 2 mini glue dots. And I am going to put 2 on one of the flaps. Okay, and then you want to line up this flap with this end with the handle. Okay, so now you have a long piece just like this, and now you want to repeat the process for the other flap. You want to put glue dots on this end and fold it behind the other end with the handle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oops, that didn't stick there. Okay, and now I'm just folding that behind and lining up the end. So you want the crease line to line up with the edge of the end with the handle, and then just press that to seal. So now we have the sides of the crate formed, so we need to fold the bottom in. So what I have found it helpful is to put adhesive on one of the bottom pieces and then both of the flaps. I'm using glue dots again for those flaps, but then I'm just going to put Tombow adhesive all over this bottom. So I'm going to do that really quickly. Got a little stray glue dot here that went where it wasn't supposed to go. It pulled off my paper. So I'm just going to grab another one. And then I want to put 2 mini glue dots on the other small flap, which is over on this side. And when you're folding the bottom in, you want to make sure that these small side flaps are inside your crate. So the last thing I'm going to do here is just add that Tombow adhesive to that bottom piece. So you want to make sure to fold those side flaps in. So you can do that for the bottom one here. And then put your hand up on the inside of the crate and fold this other bottom flap over it. And then just press that to hold. And then tuck that other little side flap in. And press it all together good to make sure it's all sealed. And like right here, it's coming up a little bit, so I'm just going to put some more glue there. When you get your candy or whatever in there, it will help hold this all together. Okay, so our little crate is done and we are all ready to decorate it. Okay, so I'm just going to use regular snail adhesive to stick all these die cuts down to the crate. So I'm starting with the tall pumpkin. Let me zoom in here a little bit. And I'm putting that over on the left side of the crate, and just put your fingers on the inside of the crate and press along that die cut to stick it down good. Then you want to put adhesive on your little oval with the sentiment. And you want to overlap that pumpkin slightly and make sure it's straight. Okay, and again, press it from the inside to make sure it seals really well. And then lastly, you just want to put this little gourd shape on, and that's going to overlap both the pumpkin and the sentiment. And you can kind of put it down there at the bottom like that. And that is all we're going to do to decorate the crate. Now we just have to add our candy. So you want to cut about a 9-inch or so length of this copper ribbon trim and tie that into a little bow around your treat bag. These are just little plastic bags I picked up in the party supplies section at Michael's, but Stampin' Up! Actually sells cellophane bags that are the right size to go into these little crates. So I'm just going to mess with the bow here a little bit and try to get that arranged how I want it. And that looks pretty good, and I'm just going to trim the ends so they're equal and put my little candy in the crate just like that. So I was really pleased with how these wood crate favors turned out, and I can't wait to give them to all my guests who come over for my Thanksgiving meal in a couple of weeks. I think they're really going to enjoy them. So if you are interested in making any of these wood crate favors for your Thanksgiving meal, I have links down in the description box below to all the stamp sets and die sets that I used. So you can click on those and go right to my online Stampin' Up! Store where you can buy them. And if you found this video tutorial helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That provides feedback to me and lets me know that you liked it. And if you want to see more craft tutorials like this one, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of fun projects for Christmas coming up, so you won't want to miss those. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy crafting!